Welcome to Pilots Watching Pilots, the show where we watch pilots of your favorite TV shows. Mike, what are we doing this week?
This week we watched That 70's Show from August 23rd, 1998. Now this show had 8 seasons, 200 episodes, 2 spin-offs as well. That 80's Show, and then also Days Like These, which is a British spin-off where they use almost the exact same scripts, same plot for sure, but then they just changed the British slang a little bit. You know the ones.
Hey, yo!
That's the ones. It was created by Bonnie and Terry Taylor. Now, they're like an Atlanta comedians, improv group or something, and they were on SNL. They were writers. They wrote some of your favorite movies: Coneheads, Wayne's World, Tommy Boy, and the Brady Bunch movie. And in the Brady Bunch movie, you can see the idea because they wrote it like years later, and they were bringing back that old 70s feel to the 90s. You know, which is what this was, right? Just a couple years later, they created this show and thinking, we're going to do the same thing. Just like the Wonder Years and that whole, it's been done before in TV, but this was done well. Ryan, let's break down the episode.
Hi, folks. The episode. The beginning, honestly, to me, reminded me of childhood parties. It was very, very accurate. You got the kids in the basement, you got the adults going on, liquors probably getting to the basement. Things like that happen. I did it, he did it, we still do it. But the rest of the episode, it loses me a little bit. I get the story that you kind of get a little character development, and they got the neighbor kid and then the girl neighbor, and they kind of like each other. And then they're trying to get tickets and getting a car. And I don't want to go through the whole thing, but the story lost me a little bit, but I understood it. It's a little loosey-goosey.
I thought you were loosey-goosey laughing a little bit. I thought you were enjoying yourself watching.
I giggled twice.
It was a couple more than 2.
It was 2.
Well,
2.5.
They were loud giggles, and they were squirrely. They were squirrely like that. I thought this had so much character development, and in a show where you just assume Eric Foreman is the main character, and the show is all about him, and I think that's probably what they planned on doing with this. But all the other people are so important. Every character, this had a lot of stuff where they had moments with just Jackie and Kelso alone and their little thing. And you were like, oh, well, what is Hyde about? This guy is a little bit off the wall. He's a little bit too conspiracy theory. Then you have a moment with Fez where Fez doesn't understand, cultural references and stuff because, he's a foreign exchange student. That's why they're calling him Fez.
When did the boat get here, Hood?
Even the parents had a little bit of drive, Obviously, Tanya Roberts I was in love with in the 80s. She was the best. Donna's mom? Remember her in the 80s?
The long-haired girl?
Yeah. Her mom.
The neighbor.
Yes. Her husband had the perm?
Ew.
Okay. We're getting Ryan a perm for the next episode. But I thought...
Whoa.
You can get a perm.
Have you seen this? I can't get a perm.
You can. We'll grow it out a little bit.
A little?
Just a little bit.
It's not a cheetah head, bro.
It'll grow out. Well, some parts aren't going to grow out, but the rest of it.
You get those sub parts. I'd be straight.
Yeah. I just could do a little Brian Urlacher dust on top.
Ew.
Figure it out.
We didn't say that. Things don't just drop into your lap.
The character development was there for me. I feel like they explained everybody, even both Kitty and Red. It was fantastic to see their thing. Their parents, and they're very strict, and they're very, Kitty's very bubbly or whatever, but they also know what the fuck's going on. They're like, kids, don't leave the city limits with that car. I'm going to give you a car, don't leave. And then he's like, where are the kids? Yeah, they're in the city. Now let's go bang, because they're leaving like that. They knew what was going on. They're with it. I like that everyone wasn't as stupid as even Kelso was. Everyone's just has their own point to the characters that was interesting. It's not just your baseline character. Sitcoms are dead now. This is one of the last great sitcoms. For you, okay, your last great sitcom was what? All in the Family?
Perfect Strangers.
Okay. You hated that pilot.
The pilot?
Too many clocks for this guy. Hey, speaking of clock, I don't know what time it is, but why don't you call over a flight attendant?
Oh, I should be like this.
Ryan, what are we drinking today?
Apparently we're drinking cold... Is that Spell?
Yeah, Cold Spell.
Cold Spell. Yeah, those two.
This is an intense mint whiskey. So you smelled it, which you're not supposed to do before we do these. Just imagine.
Fucking rule.
I know, this is just like kissing me in my 20s because I'm always drinking whiskey, and I used to drink a lot of Altoids too all the time. So imagine you met me at a club in the 20s. Here
Kissing me, kissing
That's what this is going to
you.
taste like. And that's exactly what it tastes like. All right, so Bonnie and Terry Taylor actually found Topher Grace at a high school play. They were going there to see their, I don't know, son or daughter, I forget which one, but Topher Grace was like the star in the play, and they're like plucked him out like, hey, we should find this, he should be in this show we're doing, when they're doing this quirky show about squirrely 70s people, so... We got to do that show. You're doing some vampire mouse right there. Will Forte actually turned down SNL. He got offered SNL, got offered SNL, and he turned it down the first year because he had such a good time writing on that 70s show, and he thought SNL was going to be a flop. He'd never make it or whatever. It wasn't going to work out. So he actually turned down going to SNL first. And then the next year, he's like, you know what? Things are good. I'm making money and whatever. I'm going to go to SNL. Lastly, Chuck Norris was the first pick for Red Foreman. And he was going to be the Red Foreman, but he was still doing Walker, Texas Ranger. So they were looking for another, tough guy, and that's where they got dumbass from RoboCop. Ryan, there's a ton of fun facts with this show, and I think a lot of people know him. Like, Jackie was 15, when she started. There's so many fun facts about this show that we can go through an hour of this, but instead of that, Ryan, how about you just give me your recommendations?
Hey, well, I'm getting a soda.
Yeah. Yep, me too. Sit down.
I don't know, folks. I wouldn't watch it based on the pilot. Everybody tells you, like, oh, you haven't watched that? Like, no, I haven't. And I watched the pilot. It's like, no.
You didn't watch this?
It sucks.
Back in the day?
No, I've never seen this before.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I knew who the characters were.
Yeah.
But... yeah, and
We've seen him in other shit and stuff.
He went on to Punk'd or whatever, and then he married the 14-year-old.
He's best known for Punk'd at this point.
Yeah,
right. There's nothing else,
Yeah.
probably. No.
Well, he's married to Demi Moore, or he used to be.
Yeah, he's best known for that.
Yeah.
I see that every day.
I think you got to watch the show. I think Ryan couldn't be more wrong. I think this is one of the last great sitcoms of the modern era, because here we are after this. Even though they did some, it was mostly weed related because they couldn't show them smoking weed on camera, so they had to rotate the camera on and stuff. And then they did some POV stuff, which was kind of fun.
Is everybody good? I know. Vienna sausages are so versatile.
After this, everything became, let's steal from Christopher Guest. How about we make mockumentaries? Hey, the British show was in office. Let's steal this and do that. And everyone else is that. I mean, even Modern Family, like our live show we did, it has that format. I hate that format. Stop doing that. It's just because reality TV took over America that we had to copy this. And it's a shame, because true sitcoms is like one of the things that America flourished in. We created it and we loved it. They were so good. And now they're not here anymore. We don't have them anymore, and that's sad. This is the last one, so I think you have to sit down and watch this from beginning to end.
Eric, how do you like Bob's new hair? Isn't it groovy?
It's incredibly groovy, Mrs. Pincio.
Everyone in this show went on to do great things, except for Danny Masterson. He went on to do bad things as a human being. Fuck him. But the rest of the people, I mean, they all go on. And I guess Topher Grace is like, he's been in a shit ton of movies. They're good movies, but I don't know, man. But everyone else is hilarious. And all of the people, all the older actors were like great character actors of their time. So I think, Ryan, you need to land this fucking bird.
Thanks for watching. Be sure you like and subscribe. Mike, what do you got?
Follow us on social media. Guess what? Now I post what we're watching on social media so you can actually watch along with us next week.
Listen, if you really want to get into this show, I'll tell you what, you need a little Laverne and Shirley. Doing it always, just like always.
You are not Laverne and Shirley. You're Squiggy for sure.